Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Sean's Music Time Machine. I did a video a few weeks ago on the theater pipe organ, and it was a little long, so I wanted to showcase a really neat instrument this morning that won't take quite as long, and something that you may never have seen before. So first of all, let's take a journey back in time. We're going to go back to about 1901, so 120 years or so, and take a look at a really neat instrument that would have been found in people's homes all over the world, and especially here in New York City, New Jersey, in the Midwest. Now, you've got to think 1901. So for any of the kids that are watching, this is at a time there was no TV, no radio, and the gas-powered automobile was just now coming out. So they were becoming available in 1900-ish. 1903, and then of course the Model T in 1908. So this is at a time where you spend a lot of time reading, a lot of time singing, a lot of time knitting or working, woodworking, whatever the men or the women wanted to do as a hobby, but you spend a lot of time together. Today we have Netflix and the cell phone and we're all kind of distracted by life, but this was at a time where you enjoyed each other and a lot of people enjoyed music, a lot more even than today. And of course, music was different back then. We didn't have our iPods or CD players or 8-tracks or cassette tapes, and some of you probably don't even know what those are, but we'll be talking about those on other episodes. But you didn't have digital music available to you. So if you wanted music, not till around 1903, 1902, you had a phonograph in your home, so you could actually listen to recorded music on a cylinder, and then of course the record player later. But before that, everybody had pianos in their homes. Everybody knew how to play the piano. So you'd sit around and listen to everybody take turns to play the piano. You'd sing, read organs. That's another thing that was found in homes. On Sundays, you would read the Bible and they would play hymns on the reed organ in your home. That's why if you go to antique malls, you find so many of the reed organs. Everybody had one. Another thing, though, that was found in homes that was a musical delight to people was the music box. So today it's really hard to even find a music box for sale. You might find one in like a Hallmark store or something, you give as a gift to grandma or mom or something for an anniversary. But back in the old days, around 1900, a music box was something that you had in your home, and it was kind of the centerpiece of a home. It was a beautiful, beautiful sound that was produced either by cylinders or by discs. And there were several companies making music boxes, but I wanted to showcase today the Regina Music Box company, which was in the New York, New Jersey area. And very, very, very cool machines. And again, this is also at a time where homes did not have electricity. Wealthy homes were starting to have electricity in them, but the normal person's home, you did not have electricity. This is also at a time where you didn't have a gas-powered furnace, you didn't have air conditioning yet. So again, very different time period. So behind me here on the table, I brought out my Regina Music Box. Now, literally, it's a music box. It's a wooden box. And something else I want to encourage you is if you like antiques and you like old stuff, and hopefully these videos, as you watch them, will get you, more involved with, antiques and old things. But when you see an antique mall, go hop in. If you've never been to an antique mall before, they're really, really cool. You can walk through and find all kinds of old stuff, and everybody has their own niche, their own thing that they like. So go ahead and walk through an antique mall, and whenever I see a wooden box, they don't all look like this, but any kind of old wooden box, I get excited because a lot of times you'll find a music box inside of the box. So they can get very pricey. This music box was probably around $1,000 on the market. Now, what's really interesting, brand new, this music box would have cost about $5 to $7 brand new. So very, very interesting. But of course, that was a lot of money back then to buy something. So again, wooden box here. And again, antique malls, look for wooden boxes under tables and in little corners. You never know, you might find a Regina Music Box. So we're gonna open this up real quick. A really, really neat image in the background here on the music box. This is just paper. And I did bring these out. I had laminated years ago some of the original sales advertisements for the Regina Music Box. It's probably reversed, so you can't really see it, but I just want to read a couple little lines from you on this. It's really neat. No more welcome present can be found than a Regina Music Box. The Regina is not a toy, but a marvelous instrument, rendering the most difficult music with exquisite sweetness and expression. You can buy 1,000 different tunes of classical, popular, and sacred music. It has a strong, massive movement, and unlike other music boxes, does not get out of order. A lot of these music boxes could actually get off track and it didn't sound real good. These were priced from $7 to $70. Now, that's a big jump, and the reason being is this was one of their smallest machines. So the largest machine they made was actually a giant wall cabinet, and I have the original sales receipt from this machine, and you'll see a little picture right in the center there, that big cabinet. That's what their orchestral Reginas looked like. They were huge. The discs were like 4 feet wide almost, between 3 and 4 feet wide. They had bells and all kinds of other things that were ringing with them, which were really, really cool. And while we're talking about this is the original sales receipt with this. This was shipped from the factory on 11/21/1901, which is pretty cool. And then I have another little advertisement here. I'm sure these are probably coming in backward. I'll post these eventually, the photos of them online. Now, you might want to ask, you didn't have electricity, so how does this work? It works just like the phonograph would, or the record player, and of course the music box. They worked on tightly wound springs. Circular springs. So you would start cranking it up, the spring would get tight, and you had all this tension. So when the tension wanted to be released, it actually was working all these different gears as the spring was releasing, running the music box or the phonograph or the record player. So, and we'll get a chance to see that in a second. Now, so this is the disc for this particular machine. And again, this is one of the smaller Regina discs. And I do happen to have the next machine up. I do not own the machine, but I do have one of the discs. So this is a little bit bigger. If I put them on a table next to each other here, you can see the difference in size. Now, on a music box, and even if you have a music box at home, a newer one, you can still get the idea on this. What makes the sound is something called a comb. And you're gonna see why it's called a comb in a second. We will zoom in here. You see this guy here. So starting down here, you'll see all these little fingers coming across. These are your different notes on the music box. The longer, so we talked about in organ pipes and in the concert band, the bigger the pipe, the bigger this comb, the lower the pitch, going all the way up chromatically to the highest pitch here. So, and it's pretty cool. What happens is when the disc comes past this, if there's a hole, it grabs on and it actually plucks that particular comb, giving you the sound that you hear on the music box. Now we've got our main turn drive here, which actually turns the disc. This is our crank over here, and this is our on and off. So basically what happens is if we push this down, it starts the disc. If you push it back up immediately, it'll run through one time and stop. If you push it down and leave it down, it will continuously run. So, and after hearing, the same song twice in a row, that's kind of enough. So, but again, back in the day, you didn't have options like we have today. We didn't have playlists and things like that. You had to take the disc out and put another one in. So this one here is the disc we're going to listen to here in a second. And I do want you to see, if I can hold this at the right angle, you'll see all the little bumps back here when they punch this out. That's what actually catches on the little cog down there and then plucks the comb to give you the pitch. Pretty cool, huh? Now this is copyright by the Regina Music Box Company, 1896. This is the El Capitan March by John Philip Sousa. Some of you might recognize that piece. So I'll show you how this works. Let me put the disc in here. There's a little guide here that guides us, so it can only go in the right way. And this unit is our guide. This locks down. It's got little wheels here that keep it flat, so when it comes through the comb. And we're gonna put our crank in. And this one's pretty much cranked up, but if we were to tighten this around a couple times, that gets our spring nice and tight. This can come off. And like I said, we're gonna push this down and push it back up so it only plays through one time. So there you have it, the Regina Music Box. Now, another neat thing is you probably can't hear it too much through the phone. If you have a computer you're listening to this on with speakers, maybe. But just like a piano, we have what's called a soundboard. And this is sitting on kind of a hollow piece of wood here. So when the comb is being plucked, it actually kind of vibrates down into the box and into the table it's sitting on. So it gives you kind of a nice bass effect, actually. A lot of volume comes out of this little music box. So, but again, this was another way to enjoy yourself back in the early 1900s. Enjoy your family, enjoy the beginning of music in your home that wasn't necessarily you playing a violin or the piano. You were able to have music on discs and bring popular music into your home. There was no other way to do that. So this is really cool. Again, we're going to be doing a lot of different videos, and we'll be doing a lot more music boxes. This is just an American-made machine by Regina, but there's a lot of machines that were made overseas before this. So several collections here in Columbus I'll be visiting to show you more music boxes. So we still have the video coming up with the player piano. And so click subscribe today. Don't leave the page without clicking subscribe. We have a lot of videos coming up here, a lot of really neat history pieces. And again, we're going to get into videos here in the future where we actually take some of these machines apart so you can see the inner workings. The phonographs coming up, reed organs, and the player piano. So, and then we're going to do video number 2 on the theater pipe organ. So click subscribe and join me as always as we go back on Sean's Music Time Machine and visit music of the past. So everybody have a great one.